Hey 10K Golf family, I'm excited because this week not only did I practice, but I had some great revelations that I want to share with you. So during my practice, I did something, but it was a relation to a conversation I had and some observations I made when giving some lessons. Have you ever experienced, while playing golf or practicing, cognitive fatigue? I just learned that phrase actually from a dear friend. Cognitive fatigue. It's basically mental exhaustion that comes as a result of prolonged exhaustion, either mentally exhausting or just doing something that just over time is wearing down on you. And the only recovery is sleep, rest, of course, things of that nature. But it often happens when people are playing golf, whether it be 9 or 18 holes, because golf is such a mentally stressful game sometimes, especially if you're playing in a competition or if you're playing with people you don't really know that well and you're having the stress of wanting to perform. So just give an example. I mentioned that I had taken 2 ladies out for the first time ever on the golf course over a week ago, and they had only been to Topgolf, so they had no understanding of what it was like to play 9 holes, let alone 18 holes. And even though we were doing a scramble format where they would hit the ball wherever the best ball landed, it was still exhausting. And then, of course, they're getting golf tips along the way, so they're having to remember those tips depending on where we were on the course. So I could assume, and I did witness, that over time they were getting tired and they were not hitting their shots as well, or they would forget some of their shots, some of the tips that had been given to them. And so I try to keep it very simple and repeat the same thing because I don't want them to get overwhelmed. But one of the things I tell people oftentimes, because naturally when you're tired in golf, what can happen is you tighten up and you will either swing harder or think you're swinging harder to overcompensate for your fatigue. So I tell people to breathe or say something out loud that forces them to breathe out, because when they're swinging, what happens is they'll immediately hold their breath, and then when they're swinging, they're holding their breath, which oftentimes tightens up their body. And so in order for them to stay relaxed, which is the state you want to be in when you're getting ready to hit the ball, I encourage them to breathe in, breathe out, and then start to swing. But one thing I did today in my practice, because I worked on putting, is I practiced breathing in through my nose on the backstroke. And then as I get ready to hit the ball on the follow through, I breathed out. And of course, it might have been a little bit faster because the putting stroke may not have been as long. But I practiced that breathing in and breathing out to make myself be aware of my relaxation. Because I actually did notice I was holding my breath on some of the shots, especially when I had downhill putts, because they're always afraid to hit it too hard. So that's something I've been putting into my routine. The other thing I tell people to do if it's hard to focus on breath is to say the words tick tock. So as they hit the club back, tick, and as they come through, tock. Tick, tock. Tick, tock. And I tell them to do that pretty much for every swing, but for sure for putting, chipping, and even iron shots, that's something that I recommend, because when you say it out loud, especially you can say it, you don't have to scream it, but if you say it out loud, saying the word tock as you swing down at the ball, again, forces you to breathe out so that you're not sucking air in while you're swinging. So you can't tighten up your body while you're exhaling. And that's the whole goal of doing the tick-tock or the breathing exercises. So I want you to observe that. Even if you're not able to play at a golf course because of being in a colder place, you can practice this while you're doing your practice swings. Or tick, tock, tick, tock. Practice that routine, focus on breathing out, and you'll notice when your shoulders will go down when you're in the correct position, being relaxed, versus when you try to swing hard, your shoulders tend to go up. Or if you try to control it, your shoulders will be up. So I want you to try that technique and just be more aware, because cognitive fatigue isn't just because of not relaxing. It could be because you haven't eaten properly, especially on the golf course. You may be running low on energy, so you're literally hungry and tired because you have no energy to burn. Or it could be that you just had something stressful happening in your life, meaning maybe your house is under repair, or you have a test that you have to take, or anything could be going on that takes away from your mental focus and causes you to get tired more quickly in the course. So pay attention to that if you're practicing indoors or on the course this week, because I think that's going to help a lot, and it's something that we all deal with, including pros. So don't feel alone in that. And I'd love to hear your feedback about whether or not that's something that you struggle with, and if the technique I just gave you, the breathing or the TikTok technique, helps. Other than that, I'm looking forward to sharing more with you as the app is developing. Please check out the videos from the January webinar, where we talk about some mental exercises you can do for confidence building and dealing with anxiety on the golf course. That is in the app right now. And I'll see you next week.